Hello guys, it's Peter from PS Sound, and this is now the first update on this build. Yeah, I was trying to kind of make an update on a daily basis, but yeah, sometimes life is just too busy. So at the moment there are 20.5 hours of work put into the car, and what happened within that time? I tried to make videos showing every single step, but then I realized that I simply just don't have time to edit all those videos. Like from the TT build earlier, you might have seen that install. I have like 30-40 videos, and even if I just have to add videos to each other and basic editing, it's hell of a time that at the moment I have no time for. So I thought I'd rather make a single shot to explain what happened, and then it still gives you a really good information about how this setup is gonna happen. So basically the sub enclosure is mounted down to the factory spare wheel mounting point, but that was further up than the floor, so I had to build kind of like a raise above it. But that also determined the height of the enclosure, because the sub has to fit in. It's quite a deep subwoofer, a 15-inch subwoofer. Plus the spare wheel was offset to the right, so this is where the enclosure ends, and it extends rather further out to here, till here. But because I wanted everything central, it was a very tight fit. As you see, I had to chisel that part of the enclosure out so the basket can slide in. But if you were worried that the material here is too thin now, the enclosure from the outside underneath the buffle, it's supported with extra plywood sheets. So yeah, very tight fit. According to measurements, the enclosure is 57.25 litre, including that raise, minus the subwoofer once it's in, the displacement of the sub. So I still have around 54 litres, and that's pretty good. Heavily brazed inside, all the sides as you see, 18mm plywood, double buffle, and then there's gonna be a trim panel over it with slight feature, small feature. So yeah, that's definitely sturdy. I can move the whole car from that enclosure, solid. Then maybe I show what happens from the other side. Okie dokie. So this section here is like a box section piece made of plywood with braces inside of it as well, and then all this piece is bolted down each side to the factory mounting points, which were the mounting points for the rear seat. So I didn't have to drill any holes in the car. I'm using the factory holes. But to make that single piece, it looks like a few pieces of wood. Yeah, that took quite a long time, considering what it is, because that had to be spot on. If that's not in level, this way or that way, then the whole base plate would be screwed. So that took a bit of time to make it perfect. And then the whole empreg sits on that, which will be bolted here at 4 points, 2 points each side, down to this. And then at the back, I step into the car. At the back you see another 2 bolt points there to the factory mounting points, and in that way, yeah, this will be as safe as it can be. Plus I'm thinking to bolt the base to the subwoofer as well, so the subwoofer enclosure will have a secondary fixing point. So yeah, this is where the amps are gonna be. The fuse block right next to it. It's a very simple setup, RC is coming in from that side over here, then power and speaker cables on this side from underneath the rack. I left small holes here and there and here in the back, so that's where the cables can slide in. And there will be a trim panel over it, only showing the amplifiers cut out. So pretty simple. So once that trim panel is done, which is today's job, then I can carry on with the trim panels. One trim panel each side here to make the floor even, one in front of it, and then there has to be a trim panel in front of the subwoofer enclosure, and then one on each side. So that's 1, 2 in front, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the amps, 7 trim panels. Yeah, sounds like a lot for a day. We will see how far I get, and then I will update you a little bit later. Guys, if you have any questions, you know what to do. I really appreciate, the some of you are really supportive and keep messaging me, and I try my best to answer. But yeah, I think this is the way. This is the way to do these things, to share as much as we can, and we can learn from each other. It helps you, it helps me, and hopefully, yeah, I can talk to you soon. Take care.